You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, B&B fans, I've got your 2-week spoilers for Monday, September 30th through Friday, October 11th. Taylor Hayes has got some Doctor Doom action, and Carter Walton is wooing someone. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and let's dive right into what is coming these 2 weeks, beginning with Monday, September 30th. So, as we left it on Friday, Taylor had heart palpitations staring at Brooke and Ridge canoodling and talking about taking what they were doing in the studio to the bedroom, and that was too much for her ailing heart. Brooke leaves, Taylor collapsed. That was where we left it on cliffhanger Friday. As we resume on Monday, Ridge is desperate to revive Taylor. He is shaking her, trying to wake her up. He is able to get her on her feet and conscious, and drapes his jacket over her, being the heroic ex-husband that he is. But he is not going to take no for an answer when he asks her what is going on, why she collapsed. I'm sure she's going to try and fib her way out of it, lightheaded, didn't have lunch, something like that, but he's not going to buy it. And Will and Katie have another chat about his dad, Bill Spencer. And of course, Katie is kind of considering Bill's request that they reunite and become a family again, but she's learned by now to shield her heart from him. And that's what Will wants for his mom too. So he's not a weak link that Bill can leverage to try and talk Katie into getting back with him. Tuesday, October 1st, we have Brooke and Steffy in a tense conversation. This conversation is going to be a lot, I think, of a repeat of Steffy's last conversation with Hope, where Hope is like, basically, Ridge chose my mom, doesn't want your mom, haha, that kind of thing. And Steffy talks to Brooke, and it's the same sort of conversation, with Brooke reminding her that Ridge wants Brooke, not Taylor, and that they are committed, which as of the point she's saying that is true, but we all know that Ridge is the original waffle boy, and when he finds out his other ex-wife could need him, that could change everything. Because also on Tuesday, Taylor admits to Ridge that she is in heart failure, and he is flipping out. And I hope that he is going to have a talk with her about seeing a proper doctor for what is going on with her heart. I think it's just that Ridge has ripped it out of her body too many times. Maybe that's the problem. Broken heart syndrome, that's an actual medical condition. Wednesday, October 2nd, Taylor doesn't want to hear it, but Ridge is pressuring her to get over to the hospital and get a second opinion. I think that this is really a first opinion. Since she hasn't seen a cardiologist, to me, she doesn't have an official heart diagnosis. Going to see her primary care or urgent care doctor, that's not a substitute for seeing a heart expert. So he's calling it second opinion. I'm going to call it first opinion. So he is not going to relent until she gets to the hospital and gets seen. And if you remember, Li Finnegan sent Taylor a list of cardiologists that she was recommending and asked Taylor to let her know which one she wants to see, and she'll set up the appointment, and that is going to happen in this first of the 2 weeks. On Thursday, October 3rd, Cassandra Creech is back on B&B. If you don't remember her, she plays Doctor Grace Buckingham, mother of Thomas's fiance Paris Buckingham, mother of Thomas's ex-fiance Zoe Buckingham, and ex-wife of baby-stilling and baby-selling horrible Dr. Reese Buckingham. So I wasn't necessarily a big fan of hers last time she was on, but she was also being pretty manipulative, and she was hypercritical of Carter, dating Zoe and all that. So this time she's back in a medical capacity, and I don't remember hearing what her specialty is. I hope that she is indeed a cardiologist, because she is going to be running some tests on Taylor's heart. That same day, on Thursday, Bill decides he needs to really open up and let himself be vulnerable and be very honest with Katie about his feelings. That should be pretty interesting because he's usually so cocky, and it feels like we're seeing a very different Bill. You know, maybe the trauma of his daughter/not daughter Luna kissing him has really shaken him to the core, and maybe he actually has changed. We'll see. Friday, October 4th, Dr. Grace Buckingham has an official diagnosis for her patient, Taylor Hayes, but she doesn't seem to want to believe what the doctor says. So it sounds like it's going to be a slightly different prognosis that she gets from this doctor, who should be a specialist, versus from her other doctor. And Katie opens up to Brooke about why exactly she is scared to reunite with Bill and recommit. And, you know, it could be about not wanting Will hurt, but I'm guessing it's more about Bill and her not being sure he's well and truly over Brooke, who we've heard him say multiple times is the love of his life. We also have this week Will telling Steffy that he wants to work at Forrester Creations and tells her he's very certain about it. Carter and Hope talking about whether or not an office romance is a good or a bad idea. And Eric talking to Steffy and reassuring her that Ridge cares very deeply for Taylor. And Steffy's attitude is they're going to be connected till their very last breath. And her mother's getting closer to her last breath. All right, the week of October 7th through 11th, let's talk about Taylor's new terror and Carter's new crush. So word should be spreading soon about Taylor's allegedly fatal illness. Is Dr. Grace Buckingham going to give Taylor hope that she could survive this, like with a transplant or something? Or is she going to give her even worse news and Taylor finds out she has even less time than she thought she did? Katie remains very conflicted about whether or not she can trust her heart in Bill Spencer's hands. Speaking of women with a bad heart, you know. And Hope is thinking pretty hard about Carter's romantic overtures. Dating him could solve several problems for her. It could get her mind off Finn. It could get Steffy off her case about Finn. And since he is the COO of Forrester Creations, she might be able to have Carter running interference to protect Hope for the future. And I am looking forward to seeing if Steffy approaches Carter once she notices he and Hope are flirting and advises him to steer clear. I mean, realistically, Steffy should be glad if Hope is with another guy, but if Steffy tries to deter Carter, then I think Brooke's assertions to Finn that Steffy is targeting Hope to derail her life seem more valid. And Ridge may actually encourage Carter and Hope to date to help protect Steffy's marriage, but I am very interested to see how Brooke will react to all this. Those are all of our 2-week spoilers. Please drop your comments. Please click subscribe if you haven't, and definitely come back soon. It is me, Belinda from Soap Dirt, talking bold and beautiful with you 7 days a week.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.